All right, it is 5:30. I'd like to call the January 20th, 2026 meeting of the Hampden Selectboard and Board of Health to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being held at the new Town Hall, 85 Wilbraham Road, at 5:30, a little early because of things, extra things to do. We are broadcasting over Zoom and recording the meeting. Is there anyone else recording the meeting? Kristen Rivers from the Hampden Wilbraham Times. Welcome, Kristen. Notice how I changed that around, the Hampden Wilbraham Times.
That's very nice.
Yeah, thank you. Put that down. Thank you.
If you say it enough, it may happen.
All right, so the first thing on the agenda, we have minutes, right? Copious minutes, don't we?
Copious.
All right, great.
Very well.
Where are they?
Where are they?
Where are they?
I sent one, Lauren. Did you guys get them?
No.
We got them emailed, but they're not printed here. All right, we're going to put those off to next week.
We should wait for the next meeting.
All right, so we don't have copious, we have copious minutes, but not to review. Fair enough. We have the copious committee of Hampden Fire Building Review Committee, and welcome. So, this project is getting a little teeth to it, but I think we're at the point where we're getting close to some resolution.
Yes.
So share why you're here, please.
So, as you know, we got an RF.
Can everybody, Kristen, can you just give us a heads up? Can you hear him okay?
Yep, hello.
That's
I
all
can
right.
hear them.
Thank you. All right, good. Sorry.
No worries. So as you guys are aware, we put out an RFP for the architect/designer services for the project beginning in November 6th. We got back 2 respondents, 2 packages, Selectboard and Associates and Kalo and Bennett, those 2 firms that responded. And through the evaluation and the rankings, Selectboard and Associates came out on top as our first choice for the architectural firm to go with for the project, for the next phase, next steps there. So that's why we're here tonight, to bring the board up to speed and to do similar to what we are doing with the OPM. Send it out to them, we want to award the contract, start negotiations, get the fee for proposal, and get that part moving. But we need to get the architect on board to continue doing what we're doing, really start the project.
Okay.
So that's why we're here tonight.
Brian, you've done, pardon me, some work on this, both with Mark and with town council. What's your status?
For the OPM,
Yeah.
we have a follow-up meeting with Rose tomorrow morning at 9 now.
Yep.
Hopefully we can address, I think she has 2 lingering concerns. Hopefully we can address those and get that.
That's on the OPM.
That's on the OPM, correct.
You said you evaluated and ranked them. What were the criteria that you used?
I mean, there's standard criteria as far as experience, years in business, projects they've done in similar size, similar types. So we went through the whole matrix of the, it's in the RFP as far as how you rank them. It's pretty much a lot of boilerplate that you go out there, make sure they have architects on staff, how many people on staff. And Selectboard came on top. They certainly had more experience in fire station additions, renovations, the number of projects they've done, especially similar to us, what we're doing right here. So they came out on top.
And where are they located?
They are located in Rhode Island, and it is the same firm that did the initial design work for the project that we for same firm.
Are they continue the design, or can they change the design? Will they change the
We got to
design?
get them on board and go over everything with them and bring them up to speed where we're at. So we're kind of at a standstill until we get the architect on board.
So bringing the architect on board does not limit our choices for design. It doesn't lock us into what was, okay.
No.
I think it's based on conversations that have been happening, that's important.
Correct. Yep. But but they can't start any work until we actually have them hired.
All right,
So hopefully we can do some.
Gotta kick it along.
before.
and this is, as you said, no matter what the design may be, and there are obviously some considerations for some modifications,
Sure,
you still would have the requirement for this position.
absolutely.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There's no money attached to this vote, right? I mean, this is
Very similar to the
recommend.
OPM, we have to negotiate a
Negotiation,
contract
right.
with them.
Hopefully, we can do that a little quicker.
Yes, and we need to pick
All right.
up the pace. Yep,
So,
that's where we're at. And we have more than 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The OPM, because we need him to be part of this process too.
What are Rose's concerning the opium?
We just got it at 4:10. She says the designer's selection fee and second, the project schedule for purposes of determining when a contract phase is being extended. Kind of in the weeds there, but.
Okay, all right, well,
I'll entertain a motion to
that's where she goes.
Basically certify the firm of Secotio and Associates for the fire department design services as architect. It's subject to the negotiation of the proper contract between the town administrator, building committee, input of town attorney, et cetera, to begin the negotiation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sir, you're from where?
I'm from the town.
Which town?
It's down. Okay.
I just had a question. How many square feet are you proposing? What's the proposed square footage?
Proposed square footage?
Yeah, you're gonna do an addition and you're gonna do a renovation. So what's the total square footage that you,
There was a number presented at the town meeting, but that number is being reconsidered possibly right now, so I think all we can give you right now is the number that was presented at town meeting.
Which is around 12,500 was the.
That's not the addition, that would be the finished size when you're done. Right, yeah.
Right.
and we're not locked into the design that was proposed at town, am I correct?
Yeah, until we have final architectural plans, correct? We're not locked into that.
Right.
But your committee has not looked at any alternatives, am I correct in saying?
No, you're not correct.
So, talk to me.
So we considered alternatives, but we really can't say one way or another until we get folks on board that can help us put numbers to those alternatives.
So you can't tell me what the alternatives are?
Well, we talked about making apparatus bay addition off the side of it, and would that be less expensive and more beneficial to the fire department, to the fire department? We don't have the answers to all that. That's why we need to get the architectural firm in on board to help us with that process.
I think, John, it's safe to say that things that weren't in place at the time they came to town meeting, getting ready for town meeting a year ago, have changed. Obviously, the next door situation with the town hall has opened up other possibilities for them, and they're evaluating that to see if there's a way it would affect the design, hopefully in a positive direction. Is that a good summary, Mark?
That's a
Right.
very accurate summary. But we need the experts on board now.
Right, so because of the change in use next door, it opens up other possibilities for their design.
Correct.
And the market rates as well, for what we started planning this in '23. We're in '26 now, so some things that were quite feasible in 23 and 4 or 5 may not be feasible now, so looking to see what alternatives there could be in the marketplace.
Right.
So it would be expeditious for the town to decide what they'd like to do with the old town hall.
Exactly.
And that would impact what your design's gonna be.
That's been the conversation. I think if we were at the, I think you were at the building committee meeting last Thursday, and that was part of the conversation
I
there.
was, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yep.
Yes, I'm aware.
So again, they are really intertwined. This committee is aware of it. Our board's aware of it, and this has to be addressed right now. That's why we're meeting later after the public hearing to really, Don has done quite a bit of work on getting the mission statement together for the town hall repurposing committee, basically together, so they have a charge, and the goal is to bring this forth to town meeting at the latest, or at least long before that, so we have a good opportunity to explain to the public, this is the recommendation going forward, which then gives this committee an opportunity to perhaps change their plan in a manner that would benefit the town financially, honestly.
So you're gonna get somebody on board, meaning the fire department, but you're not gonna propose to them to have in the back of their mind.
Well, I think, and I can't speak for them, but I would think that,
You don't mind me speaking?
no,
I'm saying,
I'm so sorry, John, I was trying to answer before you asked, go ahead.
so the question is that you have one proposal that you've looked at now, that we know. Now, if that moves, are you going to talk to your architect about changing or altering his design again? Or are you gonna just go with the same design? Are you gonna tell him, look, I want you to look at this also, this proposed scenario?
Mark?
The answer is yes to all the above, is there are things in play now that weren't in play when we designed this project. So again, we've got to have people on board that can actually take some additional ideas and look at it and see if they're plausible. We have a project we're looking at now as some possible alternates to the project for different designs. But again, we need people on board. And regardless of what the final design is, we need the architect, whether it's left, right, up, or down.
I understand you need an architect, but will you ask this architect to look at other design?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
That's, I want to hear from you guys. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay?
This may be similar, John, you were around that time with the Mitchell plan way back when they were exploring, is there a potential going to the south? But at that point, they were constrained because obviously the building was in use. And they may have an opportunity to take, how long ago was that? 5 years, 6 years? Yeah. They may have the opportunity to grab some of those documents and use them again.
Is there a possibility to go to the west?
Again,
Hang on.
that's,
Meaning towards the highway department, highway garage.
Not room really.
it's limited down there, John.
You have a truck already that comes out. You have a garage in the area already. I'm not gonna debate your, I'm just, that's what I'm asking.
So the
No, let's-
apparatus that's in the back now, I understand what you're saying, but as it travels out, it's pulling out into the parking lot area where people are getting out their vehicles, going into the fire station emergency. It's not
That
ideal
goes south.
safety-wise.
Yeah, I understand.
So we're trying to get that cross-traffic pattern down. Pattern is a concern, even though we have a plan to do in the building, we still have to have firefighters respond to someplace and park someplace.
Right.
So that's another avenue then. So that's where the architect comes in to help us lay all this out. We have ideas and plans and things to make it better, maybe even less expensive, but we don't know until we have someone build it, tell us how much it's gonna cost. Or lay it out or draw it.
Yeah.
Where we're at.
Okay. What more do you need from us? Anything?
Figure on the contract, so that would be great.
We'll get on it. Have one before you go.
Back tomorrow.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
No, that's all. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
All right. John, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was anticipating an answer. That's fine.
I just want
I I know what you're saying. On the record, you're sticking around for later, right?
I am.
Okay.
Municipal.
You want one? Do you want one before you go? All right. Chief,
Sir, how are you?
good, and you?
Good. We're gonna come forward, okay?
Please. Can barely see you back there.
That was by design. I'm gonna pick out with me. I can-
We can see that guy, yeah.
Yeah, from anywhere. Exactly.
So with the board's tentative approval, I wanted to bring forward tonight Chad Martowski. This is an officer that I would like to bring on board as a reserve officer at the police department. As you know, we've been down a few bodies on the reserve force for a period of time. Chad is a former Wilbraham police officer where he served about 5 years. Prior to that, he was in Longmeadow for a couple of years. He's now a full-time firefighter in Southington, Connecticut, as of this past February. So he only left service with Wilbraham about this time last year in January. He is still currently certified on our post list, which is very important, obviously, in Massachusetts. Very good resume. He comes highly recommended. I've spoken to Chief Lennon and Wilbraham, again, highly recommended. He's provided all of the background information we need. His background check is fairly complete. We only have a couple more things to do in that regard. And I would like to get him, again, with the board's approval, sworn in and approved, and
All right,
pending any.
Brian, you have all the stuff, but we have nothing in our folder. Okay.
I will have.
And I know we talked, to try and bring this up, typically it might have been a little later, but we had time on our agenda, and it's important. You have a deficit, you have a great candidate, and you're where in town?
I live on Martin Farms Road now.
You want to stick around for the electrical hearing for Bayberry and Colony next?
Absolutely.
You might have been notified as in a butter. We have some of the Martin Farm people on the list
For what?
for the electrical upgrade for,
Really?
yeah.
That might be one.
That goes to show how many people are coming.
Right now, well, yeah, it might be on the.
Anyhow, yeah,
We do have a full packet for you and for Lauren.
All right.
And for the TA once
okay.
we're good to go. And it's-
Well, Chief and I,
Discuss a couple of things about the requirements that you'll have for him to complete.
exactly, and Chief and I talked last week, and I totally understand your concern, why, is there a rush to this? But we have an opportunity for a candidate that's already certified, already local, lives in town, and I hate to say it, with the deficit and the dearth of candidates out there, I'd hate to see it snapped up by somebody else. We're talking, we get perks like nobody else has, really. It's so close to work, seriously, really. Better than Wilbraham, I mean, half the gas.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Why'd you switch to fire?
So my friends ask me the same question, so I'm very passionate about law enforcement. But as I'm 30 now, but my priority shifted.
30 years old?
Yes. I live in town here. I would like to have kids, and I was working.
I know, he looks 20, I know what you're saying.
I would like to have kids.
I remember that one time, I think I was 30 at one time.
Again.
Again.
But I'd like to have kids, so working in law enforcement, not saying it's impossible, but you can't deny the schedule of a firefighter. I work 2 24-hour shifts a week. I'd be home more than my wife would with the kids, and then working part-time as a police officer, I'm doing everything I wanted to do in life.
Yeah.
Now, that was.
Except it's not like Southington's exactly next door either. That's,
Right.
Yeah. Well, see any negatives, we did talk about there's a need for possibly a couple of tests, and I think a motion to approve subject to all required certifications and tests would be in order.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hate to put you through the ringer like
That's
that,
all right.
geez.
Thank you very much, good to meet you.
Wilbraham probably was an hour and a half, I would think, back in the day, right?
Good to meet you.
I get up, I'm old.
Not getting up.
Let's see, 30, another 30 on top of that. and just
Gentlemen,
another-
thank you, appreciate it.
All right.
So,
That's all.
we just take a look at the list. How many Martin Farm people were there?
One of my coworkers lives on Martin Farm.
Number 20.
Oh, he's way at the end.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Way at the end of the left there.
Are those stripes, how many years, what are those stripes?
Yeah, see, so,
A lot of stripes there.
Too old.
How many years, how many?
so that's
How many?
the people affected, and here's your road here,
28,
and you might have just been
many.
So this is, I'm sorry, so this is.
farms.
Yeah, Mark
Keeping a
Farms.
mill in between.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, they have this property here, all of a sudden, they're called in because they
Gotcha.
touch within
Go to the other
50 feet
sleeve.
of property.
Gotcha, yeah, I'm the first, I'm number 20, so you take it right onto Mark Farms, I'm right, I'm the first house on your right,
Oh,
a little bit down, so.
not bad, right.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, we have a little bit of pause before our posted public hearing. You want to go look for those minutes? No, I'm kidding. That's fine.
I got a couple of things we could do, Chief,
I don't hear anything.
Mr. Chairman. I have a couple of things.
You have samples?
I have a license for the Ferrandino Maple LLC for manufacturing of frozen desserts and/or mixed ice cream.
And I will speak to that at the Fall Fest, I think, I had an opportunity to sample some of those, along with the, I think they did the maple hot dog.
Yeah.
And I can recommend them. So I'm in favor of making that motion.
Second.
Have you experienced them?
All in favor?
Yes, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Likewise, I have a request for a permit to operate a mobile food truck by Ferrandino Maple LLC.
And that was the one I experienced, and I would say I'm all in favor of that. So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I have a permit to operate seasonal food and service in operation for DNR Farms.
Yes, and they do a great
They
job.
do a good
with,
job.
They came to the one we had at the
Yeah.
Old Town Hall that
Yeah.
time. So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I have a disposal works installer's permit for Gary Turnberg excavation.
Okay, that I can't speak to, but I'm happy to make a motion for that. You have an experience, Gary.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll sign these. Get that out of the way.
I trust Don. Yeah, I trust, yeah, Don says it's good disposal.
Forward, we trust.
Okay. Okay.
Did we find out if some commercial goods are actually going to be on premises?
According to the email, yes.
Okay, go sign that one. Sign that one.
That's got a badge on, maybe that's some sort of, this was the last meeting.
Sign that one.
I don't want to.
I think I can sign this one myself.
I think DNR does mostly veggies, or they do flowers too, was it?
What?
DNR does mostly veggies, flowers too. They the people also did.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So Don, Dick is gonna bring one with him for our meeting. He still has a few numbers to fudge, so, you know.
If I could balance for this week.
I'm kidding. For those listening, I am kidding.
Do we have to sign the
You want
other?
some, Brian? You're all good with these.
Yeah, we're happy with this. Do we have to sign the other one?
We did that.
That good.
We did that.
No, that's,
That's all, yeah, okay.
What else we got here?
who is here from the proponent?
Here we go.
Ruth, are you seeing anybody online?
Say again?
There's a gentleman in the back
I'm
with
gonna
a badge
mute
on.
it. It wasn't many, it was
No.
participants, yeah, that's. Something that was Rick.
There's a gentleman in the back corner, he's got a badge on, I don't know if he's from National Grid, back corner. Oh.
Good evening. This is Patrick Sullivan. I'm on the Zoom meeting. I am also from National Grid. Just wanted to announce myself.
That's fine. I'm looking for the people that are supposed to be here, and I don't see anybody. Is there anybody from National Grid here? That's you two, okay. Do you expect anybody else?
All the answer.
Let's see.
That doesn't sound good. We're pretty clear we wanted.
Nobody wants to sit in the front row.
Yeah, like school, church.
We do the collections on all rows.
Was out for delivery, the items out for delivery, she orders.
Amazon on the way to your house? I'll chat with those people and figure out what's going on.
They shut the heat off in here.
Seen the bill? Yeah. Seen the bill? Yeah.
No. Big building. I think we should move the stuff from the trailer to one of the vacant rooms.
Your colleague disagrees.
What?
Your colleague disagrees.
Why? Because he likes the idea of the trailer.
Ready to go, I guess.
Well, where's it gonna go where?
I don't know.
It's supposed to, if it's got constant stuff in there,
Yeah.
right? It would go, it doesn't,
I'm not sure this can, the shelter needs a permanent kitchen facilities. I don't think these are.
what is it, emergency one, right?
Oh, no.
Nope.
No?
That was it.
There's 1 minute to go. Patrick, are you going to speak on behalf of the hearing?
I am happy to.
I'm looking for, who wants to be the lead person on this is my first question.
So I'm happy to introduce myself. I apologize, I wasn't able to
I'm
attend.
just setting up right now. We got 1 minute to go. I'm just trying to get the order. Who wants to be who wants to suffer the slings and arrows right now?
I suppose I'll volunteer.
They're agreeing. But, all right, a couple seconds to go and we'll gavel this to order. All right, 6 o'clock. This is the time and date for the public hearing concerning the application by National Grid to basically do underground upgrades for the Bayberry Road and Colony Drive subdivision off of Summers Road in Hampden. We have before us representatives of National Grid, both in person and on Zoom. They're here to present their project, and they will then answer any questions that the public has. I would ask you to raise your hand, pretty informal, but raise your hand and identify yourself, please, so that our secretary can make a good record of this later. She knows a lot of people in town, she may not know you, that's all. So first, Pat, you want to give us an overview of the project? And then we have two representatives. Identify yourself, please, for Ruth.
Ken Kriegel.
Ken Kriegel.
Me, Lucia, but Lido's engineering.
Okay, all right.
All right, thank you. My name is Patrick Sullivan. Apologies, unable to attend in person, but happy to walk through the project with the team or the wider group here. I am a program manager at National Grid. While I am not the program manager overseeing this project, I am very familiar with similar projects of this type of scope and construction methods. I oversee this type of work in Southeast Massachusetts. I'm standing in place for a colleague who's unable to attend in person. This project was identified and written up and designed to replace the existing direct buried primary voltage cable that's serving customer load within the neighborhood, Bayberry Road and Colony Drive. Due to the age and condition of the cable presently serving residential load. Over the past year, we've experienced approximately 5 cable outages that we've been able to identify as a result of the cable itself. We drew up a project to replace this cable. The plan is to replace this cable with a new cable and conduit system that will serve customer load. The new cable in conduit system will be installed utilizing horizontal directional drilling as the primary construction method. We plan to install this new cable and conduit adjacent to our existing infrastructure. The plan would, to start work in the coming weeks, if not potentially sooner, provided our civil construction vendor has availability. We estimate the project to last approximately 2 to 3 weeks, where the new conduit will be installed in associated subsurface structures. From there, once the new conduit and cable has been installed, we will then progress to de-energize the old cable and cut over to the new cable. With the new cable, it's expected to minimize, if not outright eliminate, all cable faults as a result of the condition of the cable. That's the driver of the project. I guess I'll stop there and see if there are questions.
Well, that's the overview. One quick question. You're putting in a new cable underground adjacent to the old cable. The old cable has connection to each house. How do you get that connection to the new cable?
So the new cable that we will be installing is strictly a primary voltage cable. And that primary voltage is the cable that runs from the green pad-mounted transformers on property lines. So it runs from pad-mounted transformer to transformer. Behind those transformers or adjacent to, typically, there's a below-grade, we'll call it handhole, where there is a connection point from a customer-owned secondary cable to our transformer. That's where the primary voltage, at the transformer gets converted to a lower voltage that we use in our homes. That cable that runs from the transformer to everyone's individual home is not being replaced. That is not a National Grid owned, piece of equipment, and it's not the piece of equipment that we are identifying as the cause of the recent cable failures.
So you're saying there's a handhold for each home, or there's almost a bit of a spider thing where you have a handhold that might have connections back to 4 or 5 adjacent homes?
Yeah, so the handhold itself typically is where multiple homes will have their secondary service lateral terminate at, and then that's where we will basically make connections to our transformer, and that's more or less the delineation of where our facilities stop and customer-owned facilities start.
Do you anticipate there's going to be an outage during this period?
So what we'll typically do is we will install all of the new cable. We will test the new cable. We will perform a couple different tests where we basically accept that it's built to our standards. Once that testing has occurred, we'll then coordinate with our customer outage group to find a date and time that would work to perform the cutover, where we'll de-energize the old and energize the new. And typically that process looks like we'll put a letter in the mail to every resident with a date and a time where they can anticipate the power outage. It'll also include a rain date as a backup date should inclement weather prevent our crews to, be out there to perform this cutover work. I'm also happy to, hear feedback of customers if there's a general consensus that they don't want to perform a cutover at a certain date, certain time. We're happy to hear that, but we know that the cable is deteriorating. I just have concerns about delaying the work, given the cable failures over the past year.
Yeah, so that answered the question one part, but I guess the next part I was looking at, what's the duration? You anticipate the duration of the outage when it does with like the cutover? Is it an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah, so I'm expecting that it would go quickly, an hour and a half, maybe at most.
Okay. Per station, basically?
No, it would be, so typically it would be everyone losing power at the same time, but it is entirely possible that this work could be completed in the field with no customer interruption, depending on how our operations teams plan to perform the work. It's possible that no outage is actually experienced.
Okay. So time frame. Obviously, where our concern, as Eric said, the crossover time would be critical. Something might go wrong, and somebody might be out for 2 or 3 hours. We're looking at coming into the season right now. They're projecting below zero this weekend. Is this something that you're thinking is 2 or 3 months down the road? Is it? And I'll go to your people here that, first off, when do you think you'd start the project? And I know we talked before, but how long does it take to do the project?
Yep. So I could start it as quickly as this week, if provided the selectmen approve our petition. With that in mind, I'm thinking this could be addressed at some point in mid-February. With that in mind, I understand. I live here in Massachusetts as well. It's cold where I live. I can appreciate not wanting to lose power during these months. So, I am, I hear that concern, and, I'm happy to, hear, if there's consensus that, residents don't want, a planned power outage, to cut over to the new cable, we can certainly consider that in scheduling the outage. Now, I do want to mention the planned outage itself. It would take place. We only schedule this type of work between during, the normal Monday through Friday work week. It would only occur between the hours of likely between 8:30 and 1:30 at the latest. But
Okay,
that, that's not the duration. That's just the timing of when that outage would occur.
sure, like the cable guy coming to your house sometime between 10 o'clock and Tuesday, sure.
Yeah.
One thing that was mentioned, we had, as you're aware, we mentioned before, we had a brief meeting with some of your team at the town hall a month ago or so, Brian. And one thing I thought they talked about was the need to put a couple of above-ground transformers, 2 to 3, Brian, right? That were going to be new?
Something, yeah.
Yeah.
So what they were referring to was switching modules. They are basically access points for our operations crews to get at cables, and allow them to operate the cables in such a fashion where they could, de-energize a single cable, but that wouldn't impact the customer in terms of an outage, and it would give them the flexibility to change configurations of the cables underground, should, an emergency occur, someone's, working on a septic system, they have a mechanical digging backhoe out there, and they dig into a line that powers, a number of transformers. It would allow a quick, easy access for us to isolate a section that has failed for whatever reason, and re-energize customers and pick those customers back up.
So now reclosures, all right.
Yeah, non-reclosing.
All right. Okay, so back to, I guess, our original question. If you said you were going to start this middle of February, you're talking how long on the ground to do all the mold drilling before you do connection?
So let me just clarify. What I said was, we have the flexibility and the capability to start this week. If we were to do
whatever date you start on, how long?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to see boots on the ground for approximately 2 to 3 weeks. And it's not like they're going to be out in front of everyone's house for the entirety duration of that 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to be in sections of the neighborhood as they kind of work their way through. They're going to be a day or two in front of one house, and then the next day they're going to be 3 houses down. There'll be a day or two there. Next day they're 3 houses down, etc. So that is more or less kind of what residents should expect. They're gonna have multiple vehicles. If necessary, we'll have police details directing traffic to ensure safe passage of residents. There'll be signs, plenty of visual indications of where the crew is and where they're working. There'll be cones, identifying work zones and whatnot, for the duration.
I think some people have mentioned they've seen some markings on the road already, sometimes on the snow, if you will, but it's good you're prepping up. Eric or Don, do you have any questions? All right, Brian?
The only question I had to follow up is how are you going to, you mentioned kind of 2 scenarios. You mentioned a scheduled possible outage. There's going to be an outage or possibly the event that there might not be an outage. How are you going to identify, and how soon into the project can you say, hey, this isn't going to affect anybody? And I'm kind of curious why we don't know that now. Is it just the way things are underground, the way things are rooted? Or?
So it's more or less due to the way the existing infrastructure is set up. We currently have a loop structure which has basically an express circuit to, we'll call it, to an open point. And then we have a cable running to each subsequent transformer. Um, Now, I haven't spoken directly with the overhead operations teams that would be performing the cutover work, which is typically done out at the pole at the street, at the intersection of Bayberry and Summers. It's entirely possible that they energize an entire section that would pick up to that open point, and then each transformer might only see a 15-minute outage. I'd have to talk to the overhead supervisor and walk through how we would plan to cut it over. I just haven't had that conversation at this time.
It would be nice to get those details, just this time of year, being the cold. I know that would be my concern. biggest
Exactly.
concern. Thank you.
All right, so if there's nothing more from the board, I'm going to open up to some questions from our audience. Patty, you probably can't see it. We have about 300 people here waiting to ask you questions.
Sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, so, but let's start with some residents first. Yes.
Nancy Netherwood, Colony Drive. My question is, being the fact that it will be winter when this occurs, will there be a backup plan in the event that things do not go as planned, as a generator for the whole 2 streets? Because we don't want our pipes to freeze or anything else.
Yeah, certainly. So I'll state first and foremost, the cable we know it's in poor condition as it is right now. And we can certainly defer this work to warmer months. It just extends that risk. National Grid's policy, in the past has not to utilize generation. In kind of looking back at what I was mentioning earlier, the underground residential development as it's configured right now, it's in a loop scheme where we have 2 sets of cables going into the neighborhood. That allows us the flexibility to switch cables around to isolate failed sections, so that the outage, potential outages the durations are minimized. With that in mind, the construction crew that we would tap to perform this work, they're also, the crew that we would also tap to come out if there's an emergency cable failure to make repairs. So they'd be on site if something were to happen, during construction. They'd be right there to address and start emergency repairs.
It sounds like that's their contingency plan, Nancy, is to have the people on site that can handle the problem.
So basically, you're telling me that National Grid, if that does not occur, will pay for all damages done to the inside of our homes if the pipes burst, as opposed to providing a generator. I know Eversource does provide generators to areas within their districts that are outside of the major cities. Obviously not a total failure within the state or the areas, but for specific streets. So why won't National Grid offer that as well?
We can certainly consider that, but in my time working at Eversource, we busted out the generators for large commercial and industrial customers. Similar to National Grid, they have plenty of underground distribution cables in similar scenarios and configurations where they have looped cables and they can switch to isolate a faulted section to minimize customer outages. If they're pulling in generators, there's probably, due to the fact that there isn't a secondary backup cable that they can energize to pick up customers. In the situation that we're looking out here on Bayberry, we have two cables that we can rely on. In situations where there's a single cable running into a neighborhood, and say, for example, a cable fail, that a section fails at the front of the neighborhood, the entirety of the neighborhood would be without power. So that's a little bit more of a scenario where a generator might be utilized. In the situation, in the configuration that we see within the neighborhood now, we have two sets of cables going into the neighborhood. So if one of those cables fails, we'd be able to switch within the neighborhood to isolate the failed section and make repairs to that while minimizing the customer outage.
Can I also just clarify that we're adding a new cable? The existing ones are staying and are being abandoned in place. Those can be re-energized if something were to happen with the new cables while they're being tested and energized.
So the old cables are turning into the backup system for later, basically.
No, so they're.
Well, I'm saying they would be.
While their new one is being energized. It's not.
Right, but you're not removing them anyhow, so.
We wouldn't keep them active, they're not reliable.
Okay.
But as a backup, they are as good as they are today.
Yeah. One thing I don't think I asked while you're here, there's no road crossing that's not being mowed as well. So I think it was said before back in November that there was no need for cutting the road in any of this project, correct?
Let me look at the drawing. So the drawing does show a couple road crossings. The road crossings would likely incur, saw cutting the asphalt to identify, existing utilities in the road. So it would impact the road.
I
But
think
just
when we had that conversation, though, we had our highway superintendent here at that time, and I believe the people that were at that meeting, Brian, did not indicate that there was going to be a need, that they thought they would be doing the same thing they did, for instance, with our water project a year or so ago, where they did directional drilling underneath the road following that cable.
Yeah, so that certainly is something that we can do. But what I want to make sure is that there are existing utilities buried. We do need to identify those locations, and only in scenarios where we're fully confident, where we've identified all buried utilities, will we, utilize that directional drill technique.
Obviously, this is not the great time of year to be doing any saw cutting and.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay, I see one right at the entrance, looks like on that map that at the intersection of Colony and Bayberry is the first cross right there. Right. So, all right, certainly something to be concerned about.
Yeah, and I do think that's something that we can take a look at in the field, with our civil contracting crews to identify existing buried utilities, and more or less devise a strategy in a way that, we're staying within our easement, but also looking to minimize impacts to, paved roadway, especially given the fact that, we are in the winter months.
Good. All right, anybody else? Don, I think this is time for your statement. That's all right, no.
Brandon Underwood, Colony Drive. This summer, we had a couple hour outage, which was supposed to be a couple hours. Okay, this was in the summer. It wound up being 24 hours. And we don't need that in the middle of the winter. I'm not saying not do the work. I'm just saying, you guys design this thing so that cannot happen. Cannot be without any electrical for 24 hours. That's not gonna work. The other thing is, I do have a transformer in my front yard. And if I indicate by watching what the guys are gonna do, they're gonna cut there to go across the street, which then the wire goes up and comes back across the other transformer. I don't believe it follows the line all the way down. From what the surveyors did is what they showed. So I'd like to know if they're gonna be digging up that. Are you gonna change that transformer out while you're there? Because the transformers have been in there now 25, 30 years. Since they had to do it the last time, they put them above ground. They used to be below ground. Then they brought them up. So are those transformers gonna be replaced, or are we gonna wait till something else happens? If we're doing a new job, why is it all happening that way? And back to my wife's question, if something happens, and if it's out for 24 hours, and if we have damage in the house due to the freezing or what, is National Grid gonna pay for this? I did not hear an answer.
So as far as, the outages and the extended duration outages, it's hard for me to kind of comment on that because everyone's situation is going to be unique. So what I'd recommend is documenting impacts to your homes, in a, on paper, with any sort of documentation you can develop, in submitting claims. Because everyone's going to be different. I don't, I can't say one way or the other. There's a team that's, responsible for assisting customers and residents who experience these sort of issues. And, I just can't speak to that. In terms of the transformers and them being replaced, there are approximately 5 transformers, it looks like, that have identified as needing to be replaced. We won't be replacing all of them. With that in mind, those individual transformers, the customers that are served off of those would experience an outage during the transformer replacement, and that would be identified on a letter that's mailed to every resident who would be affected by that, with a date and time as to when they can anticipate that.
All right, and so while that outage is going on, is there anything to do with the resident? Obviously, a generator hookup, because I don't know how long this generator swap would take. Is it a 3-hour job, 4-hour job?
Yeah, so swapping out a pad mounted transformer, I wouldn't anticipate being without power really longer than 4 hours.
That's considerable time. What do you have for a remedy for the homeowner at that point?
At this stage, there's not much of a remedy. We can certainly explore all,
Not to put you on the spot, but I think that's something we'd like to see an answer on or a suggestion on from you.
Yeah, sure.
You said there's only 4 or 5 of them. You're not talking renting a 20 kW generator for 5 months here, so.
It's something we can certainly consider, yeah.
Question?
I see, okay. Pat?
Pat Cody, 76 Colony Drive. I'm just wondering how much notice we're going to receive in terms of when we're going to be doing this work. Seeing it in my experience, an outage of up to 4 hours or maybe longer in the middle of the winter. With all kinds of consequences, maybe some of us work at home, maybe some of us do other things. So that's one concern I have. And the other concern is, after the work is done, what kind of restoration there might be for, especially areas where there are boxes, electrical boxes that may be removed, may be replaced. Are they going to recede and do that kind of restoration work?
So a couple different questions there, and I think, let me just touch on the second one, because that was mentioned before. The work that you're doing, for instance, with the pad mounting transformers, is most of that located in the town right away, or is a lot of that on private property?
So The transformers, it appears based on the survey drawings are on private property. But they're basically either on or within feet of property lines. Outside of that, 99% of all of our work is being done in the public right of way.
Right, but I think as Pat said, I mean, you're doing this transformer upgrade, you got a crew around it, boom. It's in the corner, maybe it's been nicely landscaped in the past or whatever to hide it. They're gonna have, necessarily, they're gonna have to do some work there. I mean, that's a given, understandable. Do they remediate that afterwards? Do they come back and do a little replication of what it was before? Or they leave it to the homeowner and say, well, it's gone, it's all yours now.
Great question.
Pat, go ahead.
One of the questions is whether it's in the town's public right of way or whether it's if it's not in the town's public right of way. Are all of these areas going to be in the town's public right of way?
Well, I think he was saying, his quick view is that most of the pad locations are on private property, far enough off the road. I mean, they would want to make sure it wouldn't be close enough to the road, so if a car skidded off, you're going to lose power for the subdivision. So that's a good give and take right there. You don't want that kind of protection. So, but again, your first, so go back to your first question, and I understand that, but you were saying that the transformer changeout could lead up to a 4-hour block, and that would sectionalize a group of homes for that transformer, right? So
Correct.
that, okay. So they'd be notified all of a sudden, everybody from 10 Bayberry to 100 Bayberry, on Tuesday of next week, we're swapping out the transformer. This could start at 10 o'clock and we hope to be done by 2. Is that the kind of notice that you would anticipate giving out to people?
Yes.
And I would think that, you know, if we had, and not the day before, but if it was a week ahead of time, that would be a proper time for people to make plans at that point. I mean, it's a bit of a balance, so. And Pat, is that kind of your question?
That answers that question A. Question B, I'm still a little bit unsure about.
It sounds like that's going to be fleshed out a little more later, right?
So I'm happy to kind of answer that question. So, but quickly to discuss the outage of a transformer replacement. Our standard procedure is to provide minimum 10 business days notice of upcoming power outage for this sort of maintenance work. So you'll get a couple weeks of lead time there.
Well, to a specific date, not like, hey, sometimes after 2 weeks, we're going to be cutting the power. You're going to say, we're going to give you 2 weeks notice that on Thursday, the 20th at such and such a time. That would be your notice.
Correct.
A specific time. All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable? Okay.
A date no sooner than 10 days out is what we'll provide. And then we'll provide a rain date, if weather's inclement, crews aren't out there, there'll be another date.
All right, so you're saying you're going to give at least that much notice of this date and a backup rain date. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Idea of when, because, really 10 days, that doesn't do much for me. I don't know if I would do it. My schedule's kind of flexible.
We'll give you a specific date.
And, okay, so we're going to get no less than 10 days notice, but are we going to know more specifically when they're actually going to show up and do the work?
Well, I think he's saying the 10-day notice will be of a date and time, but it will not be any less than 10 days notice of that time, not 10 days. After 10 days, you're going to see a truck show up sometime. It's not going to be that way, right? Fran?
I want to also point out that I've got notice already. They want to change the meters. Are they going to be upgrading the meters? Because there's no sense in having an interruption when they're hooking the new lines up and then have another interruption when they come to pull the meters. Because they're going to be putting new meters in, I understand.
I actually didn't get a notice. Did you get a notice?
Yeah, they're putting new smart meters in. Usually meter swaps are very, in my experience, meter swaps are pretty quick.
Yeah, is that part of this? I mean, anything to do with?
So, the smart meter rollout, I'll tell you, from my experience, I'm a National Grid customer. I've had my meter swapped. I didn't lose power. Some guy walked up. I didn't even see him. I just got a notification on my Ring camera. Someone came out my driveway, and then within 5 minutes, he was gone. That work is not associated to any of the work that we're proposing now.
Okay, Andrew?
Is your meter stock gonna have a bypass? Because the ones on this street do not. So you might not have seen an outage because there's a bypass in there, which National Grid does not allow, but other utilities do, and that avoids the outage on that. So is there, going to be able to have the smart program team out there on the same exact day to change those meters while everybody's out there, and this problem all in one shot?
That's a great question, one that I don't have an answer to, but I can certainly ask to coordinate that effort.
The next minute, actually, she's been waiting.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
Yeah, she's been waiting. Go ahead, you stand up, please.
I'm so sorry. You were behind, I didn't see your hand. Thanks, Rick. You know, seriously.
66 Colony Drive. I happen to have benefit of having one of those green transmission boxes in my yard, which is on private property. I choose to live in Hampden due to conservation and ensuring that our land is appropriated as such. So that is vitally important to me in living in this community and ensuring that our land is still intact, right? Mr. Sullivan, I understand that you are not the project engineer, but you are representing said project engineer here. So that, in my impression, is a lapse in leadership here in this conversation. So I just wanted to put that out. National Grid should have the lead engineer here speaking on our behalf. Finally speaking, in my opinion, we are notified of electrical outages via our National Grid application. I do not open my mail, read my mail. Snail mail is beyond me at this point in my time, okay? Some electronic communication, text messaging, let's get to the times. Because 10 days prior notice in mail is not appropriate for me. So just wanted to state that.
I'm happy to provide my contact information to the town and have them kind of disperse it to the group here. I can also, read it out to you if you like, pen and paper, so that you can reach out to me directly. I'm happy to coordinate and communicate these outages as I learn of them for those residents who don't open their mail.
Well, I think that, just to your point, if we had us as the interfaces, there was a broadcast, whether through email, through text message, through whichever fax machine for you, Fran, whatever way it can be. I think your point is that we should take advantage of every way to get the information out.
Thank you, yes.
Exactly. So I would encourage everybody, and we had talked about getting a sign-up sheet, in the next, feel free to email the Selectman's office, which is Selectman, still Selectman, unfortunately, I can't change it, at hamdenma.gov. Feel free to email us, tell us you'd like to be put on the notification list, and we will do that broadcast, email, and text message thing through, basically, we can do that through the service we pay for, the 911 service, to send out messages to you that, hey, we received word, such and such is going to be there by this date, and you'll be notified.
Thank you.
Do you think that's a good point?
I agree with you entirely.
Okay.
Multiple modalities of communication is
Exactly.
necessary in this.
There's no bad way,
Yes.
right? Except telex, I think that's over. No telegrams, yeah. Are we back to Fran?
Let's try to.
I'm sorry, who was up? Anybody else? No offense, I'm just saying, anybody else? Yes, sir.
These two.
Hi, Sean Kelly, Bayberry. I live on the corner of Bayberry and Holland, artwork. going down the front of my yard and down beside my yard. And they camped, National Grid camped out 3 times in my side yard this past summer. And so the questions I have is, I'm looking out the side of my house, my garage, my driveway is our work on the left side of my driveway and the right side. Are they digging up our driveways? I'm sure there's others in the neighborhood. So that's one question. Are they digging up the driveways in order to run the line? Or are they running underneath the driveways? Second.
Okay, let me just go, I think what he was saying before, and correct me if I'm wrong, you two are the on-the-ground, more on-the-ground people. It's directional mole drilling, and should not be visible from the ground, right? Correct.
That's right.
Okay.
Only where it enters and exits, they do need area to dig down.
So down by Summers Road, you're saying at that point where it starts?
In a grassy area.
Yep.
Right.
Drill pits, so drill pits will be needed. They're approximately 4 feet by, maybe 5 feet. That's where they'll position the directional drill machine. It's a track machine, and they angle their drill bit to enter in at a drill pit, and then they land at a drill pit. It's basically an opening in the ground, 30 to 36 inches at depth. That's the standard depth for this particular voltage cable, and that's where basically the conduits are run. The conduit itself, if there is a driveway in between, in that section, you should not experience your driveway being cut up. You won't have a trench line across your driveway. Barring any unforeseen below grade conditions, there should be no impacts to your driveway.
Well, you would anticipate you're within less than a foot from the other cable. So you're going to be parallel to the cable that's already under there, basically, correct?
Correct.
So you wouldn't expect that, oh my God, I'm going to hit a boulder because the other one's already been there, unless it was just so unlucky that the boulder was 6 inches from the cable they buried before. My concern, and we brought this up before, I know you're saying the mole work, the directional drilling work is being done in the town right away. But we all have people that say, look, I put in a sprinkler system and it probably comes up close to the road near where the town right away is. How do we protect against that type of interaction damage?
So that's a great question. If we plan to do the work, in the coming weeks, most folks have their sprinkler systems, turned off, the lines flushed, winterized, etc. So we won't know basically, if something were to happen, if damage were to take place. With that in mind, come springtime, folks are turning on their sprinkler systems, putting water into their irrigation lines, and they find that, they have a water leak, and it's been, we determined that, the sprinkler system was broken during the construction portion of the project. We'll want you to immediately have it fixed, save the receipt, and come to our claims department, and we'll settle that, cost of repair for you.
All right, this is a recorded Zoom session, so you got him now.
Nope.
I think that's, look, you're doing the work now. It's tough to figure out where they are, but if you're committing to, if we cause the problem, you'll settle up with people afterwards. I think that's fair on your part. I'm sorry, I didn't know if I answered your second question.
I just didn't know if there were going to be any areas where they were going to be breaking ground from the top, because this past summer, their version of fixing the sod and whatnot was taking the backhoe, patting it down with the heavy launch up. And a guy walks out, throws a couple of hands, literally doesn't spray it with the green stuff and whatnot, throws some seeds and walks away, throws a little hay down. And then anything that I had done, gone.
Right.
Now this is the whole right side of my particular property, the lower side, which really dries in the sun anyways, but heads towards the gardens. Okay. And between a transformer and this giant metal door track that goes into the ground where they've been working a lot, they dug up that whole path. I don't know if this will be something they will have to do that for also in this particular area. Is if you're doing this in the winter, anything you have to dig up from the top, you obviously need to fix the grass underneath. Right. I'd like to know that somebody's actually gonna come out when things thaw and actually do it right.
It's a good question. Is there going to be kind of replication remediation in the springtime?
Absolutely. So our vendor would perform the work, you know, if it's determined, you know, we can proceed. You know, if it's the winter months, obviously grass is not growing. It doesn't make sense to put down any sort of seed at this time. We would absolutely have them return early spring months, March, April, to set new loam and then hydro seed any you know, grassy areas disturbed during construction.
All right, good, thank you. Anybody else? Oh, sorry. Yes.
Jennifer Koblisher, 8 Bayberry. I live right on the corner of Summers and Bayberry, where they're going to put the pool.
Right.
My concern is where the pool is going to be. I think there's a weight pole stick, something sticking up, and I'm assuming that's where the pool is going to go. My concern is people cut that corner quite often, up to 2 to 3 feet. They cut the corner, so they come up on the curb. Most of you know that there's no curb or berm there. I'm concerned that people are going to hit the pole and cause more damage and have more power outages. I'd like to see maybe a berm or a curb kind of put in that little area. So to prevent maybe people hitting the pole. I mean, I can't prevent people from going across my yard, which happens often or that corner, but I just think that should be consideration.
Okay, I think there's possibly 2 solutions here. And Pat, I think it's something that you could work with the highway department to either we go ahead and put the berm in, or if we put it in and you reimburse the highway department for putting the berm in, so there's a protection. I don't suppose you'd like some of our leftover rocks to go around the corner?
I mean,
we're a town that has plenty of them if you want some. Go up to the transfer.
And they probably can agree to me that people go over that.
Sure.
Which is like that corner. But I think it's the right-hand turn that I'm worried about.
So as you're coming south on Summers Road and you bend in? Okay, yeah.
Cut it, they cut it pretty good. I'm just worried that.
Yeah, that's that new thing. Okay. Can we, Pat, is that something we can work on about the berm and protection for basically the pole as well?
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of work through those concerns. I'm looking at kind of Google Street View right now. I'm seeing the existing riser pole where the overhead cable transitions to underground cable. The new pole itself is planned to be installed exactly across the street in that same position.
I hear that before, yes.
Which, you know, is, you know, maybe 15 or 20 feet from the actual intersection of Summers Road. You know, I'm happy to kind of have that conversation about what we can set to minimize road traffic, but I mean, if you're cutting that corner and that early on that right-hand turn, you got other problems.
She's lived there a while. She's seen some incredible things, and I'm not looking at anybody in the subdivision.
I'm not doubting that.
No. Great. You'd be surprised.
I totally understand.
Yep. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Betty Cronin, Colony Drive. The company that came and marked where the wires were on the street painted the snow.
Was that your guys or no?
And they don't have flags up on Colony Drive, at the end of Colony Drive. So I want to make sure that you people know where the cable is supposed to be, because we have a spectrum cable there, and I imagine there's gas line there, and there's no markings on the street anymore.
Do you guys have gas in your subdivision? Do you really? Okay, great. So I know they talked in the earlier session that dig safe and all that was going to be followed through this. So I'm sure they'll have, whether it's ground radar or whatever, they'll have everything sensed as to where it is. I do agree with you. Marking the snow seemed a little, yeah.
Kind of dumb.
So, to that point, yep, we will be dig safing. We will be utilizing ground penetrating radar to identify locations of buried utilities. They also will be utilizing a vacuum excavation truck. It basically as a third method, if necessary, to identify buried utility locations. But basically, they'll typically call in the dig safe for, we'll call it the first portion of the project. They don't typically call the dig safe in for the entirety of the project. They'll do it in phases. So it might only be a portion of the neighborhood has been actually marked out. And as they progress through, in phases, additional portions of the neighborhood will be marked with, paint on the ground. And again, to your point, spray painting snow doesn't make a lot of sense. But that being said, a couple phone calls can be made and have dig safe return to remark as needed.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, just one last thing. February break is mid-February, so power outages during that time, I don't think it would be a great idea for parents who have kids.
Isn't everybody on vacation in Florida at that time, though?
So just keep that in mind.
Or what she's saying is that if you sent everybody to Florida on your dime at that time, feel free to go through the subdivision.
Yeah, trips to Orlando for everyone.
There you go.
This is a recorded message.
Okay. No, we are certainly considerate of school vacation. The last thing we want to do is turn power off to families with kids. I got two of my own. It would be debilitating to lose power for an extended period of time when they're home from school. So totally understand that. That would not be something we would coordinate. Our operations crews in the field, a lot of them have kids. We're well aware of school vacation. And are receptive to that concern.
Sounds like he's opening his house up for anybody who's, compromised by this.
If you want to get in the car, I'm a couple hours away.
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize if this was already asked because I came in late. I'm just wondering if.
Can you just, for Ruth, can you just tell her who you are?
Oh, sorry, Laura Underwood, Genevieve Drive.
Genevieve, and first name again?
I'm just wondering, are we taking the temperature into account? Because losing power when it's sub-zero outside, even for 4 hours.
We did, we touched on that, earlier.
Apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. No, it's a great question. We were talking, it's supposed to be, I think, hitting -1 this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is, now, Fran and I remember back in the 1800s when it was a lot colder than that. Yeah.
And, I'm happy to kind of expand a little bit there. If we're anticipating, a prolonged period where we're below freezing for, an extended stretch, we're not coordinating and scheduling those an outage to cut over to the new cable at that time. We're certainly considerate of what the temperatures are. So if we get, maybe a week of where it's in the 40s towards the end of February, it might be 4 or 5 weeks after construction potentially out in the neighborhood has stopped, but the cable hasn't been cut over yet for cold weather patches.
I was going to ask you that. There's no reason you have to do the things next to each other. You can have a gap between the actual installation of the underground and the actual reconnection.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
There is a possibility of no disruption, depending on which.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, I got to walk through it with the operations supervisor. There are approximately 5 transformers, that will be replaced, and the customers that are served from those 5 will certainly see an outage. But it's possible that, other parts of the neighborhood are unaffected.
Okay. Anybody else? Not seeing anybody. I don't see anyone. Andrew, yes.
Question I got on the directional boring. Have you guys done any other communities around Hampden, like East Long Meadow, possibly Munson, Wolverhampton with directional boring? Or is this, I know you're from the southeastern part of the state, or have you only used it out there?
So we're utilizing this construction method across the state of Massachusetts. I believe we've done work in Wilbraham earlier this year. I don't have a ton of. I'm sorry.
Pat, I can chime in. I know we did Squire Drive, and there was one other project. We've done 2 recently.
I think they mentioned that at the meeting in
One issue is there was a certain utility that discontinued using this because Western Mass has a lot of ledge and red rock. And we are very close to East Long Meadow. We're not Long Meadow where they have clay and all that, and it's easier to do. If this fails and you lose the mold, you start popping up through driveways and stuff, are you willing to go over to conventional digging, trenching, cutting, and running conduit in the public way?
Great question. That's absolutely something we would consider. But I will mention we have a project that's presently ongoing in Manchester by the Sea where we're anticipating 90% of ledge, granite, rock conditions. The vendor itself is well suited to work in these types of conditions. They're not unfamiliar. With that in mind, if it becomes, a situation where we need to transition to our traditional open trench construction, that is certainly something we can do, but it's not something I'm expecting. There's plenty of towns, in Central Mass, the boroughs themselves, Westboro, Northboro, Marlboro, et cetera. I've done projects in those towns in the past, and they have tended to be particularly rocky, and we've been successful there. So I can appreciate the boulders and the rocks, and the concern with losing the actual drill bit, hitting a rock and it being bounced off course. But the crew itself, they have a spotter that carries basically a ground penetrating device that gives readings on the drill bit, the head itself, the direction it's, the angles that it's presently, working and rotating at. It'll give readings of if the drill itself is coming up, dipping down, being shifted to the right or left. So, it's pretty immediate feedback that the crews will get if they encounter a boulder below grade.
Yeah. I will note.
I would say if it does fail, you can't. You'll switch over to the traditional way.
Yep.
Finish it.
I will say we did the mole work for the extension for the water district.
But when you do that, you're talking an 8 to 10 inch line compared to this is probably what you're running a 3-inch conduit.
It was a 4-inch line.
A 4-inch?
Yeah.
But
Surprisingly, and I think it was mentioned at the project when it started, gosh, only 4 inch, and yeah, with the crusher, we had enough.
the other question I got, when you're switching and tagging rules, are you guys allowed to pull the cable into the energized transformer in those 36-inch silos, pull in while it's energized and make up the elbows while it's energized to cut down on the outage, or are you gonna have to take an outage from both cables coming in to do that?
We'll be building all the splicing and termination with the pads energized.
So they cut down on outages.
Thank you, and a little more technical than the board knew, but thank you. All right, are there any other questions from anybody here? Again, feel free to email our board. We'd like the communication, how we can reach out to you. If you send that to our email address, we'll build that data file and make sure that anything we hear, we'll hear back to you.
Well, I think this was for a petition here.
Yes.
What are they petitioning to put in?
Basically, the right to go and drill through, the town streets. Yeah. No, we already had a hearing on the pole, change, right, yeah.
Motion to close the hearing.
I'd love it.
Motion to close the hearing.
Second. All in favor? Aye. I would like a motion to approve the applicant.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that the National Grid petition as described in plan number WR 312-11008 be granted permission to excavate the public highways and to run and maintain underground electric conduits together with such sustaining and protecting features that may be necessary for the transmission of electricity. Said underground conduits to be located substantially in accordance with the plan 312-11008, filed herewith marked Bayberry Road and Colony Drive, Hampden, Massachusetts.
Second. And to be clear, this is somewhat standard language. As he said, they don't really plan on excavating, but this is how it's described. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Again, we appreciate seeing you all here. This is the new town hall. You all like it?
Monday night. We're here every Monday night. We're here
It's Tuesday.
Monday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. And we're here next Tuesday night.
We appear here next Monday night, bring a friend.
Awesome.
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning?
All right, which is, anything?
I have no idea.
John has the original.
I don't see how you could tell much of a difference. They're all Xerox copies.
Meetings on warmer nights.
Warren had a,
I thought we were sending the cops to pick you up in a cruiser or something, nice warm cruiser.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it without the handcuffs, though.
Maybe it's this thing?
So what are we doing now?
Like Quentin and Amanda from National Grid here.
No, I checked Quentin's email, and he said Lebos will be here. You're Lebos or not? Are you from?
I'm National Grid. They're our contractor for bigger jobs when
Are
we're
you
too
from
busy.
Lebos?
Yes.
Okay, because that was Quentin said, yeah, I'll make sure somebody from Lebos.
Yeah, because we did the design.
Yep.
So I've walked the entire route.
But it was just funny that we had 5 people at the other meeting, and none of those 5 people showed up at this meeting.
Oh.
On the other hand, they were all from Eastern Mass, and I'm sure they're thinking like, I ain't driving out there at some night.
Well, Quentin was on vacation, so that's why he made sure I
can try to help you.
I hope you're not too far away.
Well, I live in Littleton, so hour and a half.
It's not the worst, but it's not great.
Yeah, 490.
I'm here and I'm the designer that meets with all the residents for their service.
Are you the guy that sprayed the orange snow?
No, that's a.
No, that's a third
Yeah,
party.
it's a state.
Oh, so it wasn't you?
No, it's a third party.
Because it does sound a little like, seriously?
It sounded like somebody preemptively dug or sprayed. We only get 30 days that those are valid for.
Okay.
Somebody can put something in it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Drive safe.
Just a question, John.
We're alive. Yes, go ahead.
Were you serious about that committee and being chairman of the committee for the, right, that last meeting we talked?
The old town hall thing?
Yeah.
No, but do you want to be on it?
I'd like to be the chairman.
Well, you have to be appointed to it first.
Okay, yeah, I like
Yeah, okay, well, we're discussing Donna's written up some great stuff. We'll put you on the list for consideration, and we got to get this moving. We got to get it moving. Right. Super. All right, great.
I got a couple of other people there, I'll tell them too.
So we already got 18 names that want to be on it.
Oh, wow.
And you've been on plenty of committees, you know there's a finite number before nothing gets done, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean people can't go at the meeting. But you just have to have so many votes, and the rest can all be suggestions.
Sounds good. Thank you, good meeting.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing, what's his name? Yeah.
The one was, the one in front was my daughter, and the
I
other
know,
one.
we got all the
My
knowledge.
other son here, he would have been here, he wanted to be represented by Laura, so he
Ah,
owns the house that she lives in.
Okay,
Behind me. Yeah.
good. What do I say, an hour? All right, so we're going to take a 15-minute break just to relax and regroup.
Get out of here.
Oh, this is it?
That's all you need.
All right. So we have,
Get what you ask for.
I was kind of hoping Doug, but
You could move that outside, I'd appreciate it, we can't really hear. Thank you.
thank you, Dick.
I can't hear you.
I know, that same thing happened at the meeting we had last week. I actually asked, Doug was gonna try and come, but he's at the meeting at the school. I think they've got a finance subcommittee.
Priority.
Yeah, well, from what he sent me, it's a good priority. Quarterly financial review, semi-quarterly financial review. So here we are, starting the third quarter. Elise, you've done a great job of sending out information to different boards and committees and departments on where they stand financially and what potentially could see a problem down the road. Dick, you've got a better, I think, sense of cash flow coming in, what might impact, and the two of you work well together. What do you see financially? First off, income-wise, we're at our projection level, as far as you know.
I don't see any reason not to. We've had a little bit of a problem. First of all, I have not executed the borrowing that was authorized. I have not had to yet. I am trying to squeak through this last 10 days. I got a $1.1 million payment due the school on Monday that I'm hoping I can make it. I made it through the traditional payments today without doing any borrowing. We're a little complicated in that the tax receipts were a little bit delayed. They were having a problem with that air gap radar system. It was down for 2 days last week, and it's operating a little bit slow now. So that is slowing down the amount that Sheila's been able to process a little bit. It's a short-term problem. It's very annoying. That system's very annoying. It's not very well supported by the vendor anymore, and I think that's part of the problem. So anyway, that's caused a little bit of a delay. So we're probably a few $100,000 behind in by a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. I'm hoping we can catch up this week. There's a chance that I can actually pull this off without executing any borrowing, but we've got that.
But you got the authorization in your back pocket anyhow already.
Yeah, that's just an ACH, so it's just, I can do it on 24 hours notice. It might be a matter of I'll be coming in Friday to move the last money around to make everything work. But,
The excise projections, typically we always go low. Do you see it trending that we are going to exceed our expectation?
I have no idea what the 26 commitment is yet. I don't know. I don't know how big the commitment was compared to, is the first one isn't out yet. See, excise is on calendar year. So the registry normally sees that excise commitment go out, I don't know, first week of February, second week of February. So we should be seeing it pretty soon, but that's.
I know Cliff always said there was like a large one and then several little ones that come along.
Right, commitment one, because it's calendar year, is the biggest one, because it's everybody that's normal. And, you know, I had the car last year, I had the car this year, and then the new stuff kicks in.
Right.
But that data wouldn't have come in 20 days into the year yet.
All right, so we'll hear that the next group meeting we have, if hopefully we're on somewhat on track. And like I say, typically, Cliff used to project low on that, so there was always a little wiggle room.
Well, we traditionally always project.
Sure.
You're talking about the tax rate right now?
No, we're talking about the excise.
Yeah, I think that was part of the cushion that we had tonight.
Oh, yeah, always. But that doesn't do anything but affect our free cash next September.
Exactly, which we're hoping is going to be really good. So, right?
Yeah.
Better be.
Denise, thank you for sending that stuff on the transfer station. How close are we to 2.5 override?
Would we have a surplus of 400,000 or 500,000?
Did you get it up that high? Because it was higher before.
As opposed to we were over $1 million last year.
Yeah.
And we're what now?
$500,000, call it. Ballpark. I can look it up on Gateway for you.
But that was because we took some things off at the special town meeting that would have brought us right up, potentially.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we knocked, gosh, 300,000 off.
I'm just worried about the school assessment.
I don't blame you.
I mean,
Honestly.
And they haven't done their, haven't got a contract with the teachers yet, or with their paraprofessionals yet either.
You know, they made the comment at the meeting last week that, there's a 1% shift in population.
Yeah.
But that's 1% from 20, like from 20 to 21 or 19 to 20. That's a 5% increase in our assessment.
And the other.
65% of our budget.
They did send some information that showed some projected capital cost that may not be this year, but one thing that did show up, and I talked to Brian about this, well, they had a bit of a historical look back at this building, and I don't think we had enough of that data beforehand, before we set the budget, but back in 21, 22, the gas bill, for instance, for this building was $30,000 to $40,000. And that wasn't even with full population at that point, because I think that stopped in 18, Don, 17, 18?
Yeah.
So Brian and I are looking at what we appropriate for utilities here. We could be running short big time in that account. We need to take a look at, how we're maintaining our heat here, and I think we've seen a bit of an increase since that time in the Eversource. Do you have gas at home? Yeah, that bill has gone up.
Yeah, gas bills have gone up.
Right, so we could be surprised, so I think it's something we got to keep track of. I mean, I'm not saying you guys can't turn the heat on in your office.
But don't turn the heat on in your office.
What?
We're at 70% usage of the appropriation in that account.
Already, utilities?
Yeah, counting today's warrant.
And that's, I mean, we take a look at the warrant and see what the, I don't even know if we've actually looked at an Eversource gas bill yet, and see what it is.
That's a homologation of both buildings, so a combination of both buildings. So it's a little confusing.
No, it was the TWB gas bill, is what we had, so.
The accounts are combined.
The accounts are combined.
It's the townhouse utility account she's referring to.
Right, which, I mean, at this point should be 5% in terms of utility, yeah.
What I'm saying is there is a little expense for both buildings, not much here before November.
No, it won't.
Thereafter, but
Yeah.
we'll have to break that down a little bit more.
I mean, it'd be nice to see if you have a chance to look at what's the latest Eversource gas bill we got and project that going forward.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, I got a feeling this is gonna be the worst budget year in 15 years, I don't remember it being, me being this nervous before.
The upcoming or the current?
The ones we're budgeting right now.
Right.
That we're about to start the budget process for, I think is gonna be our toughest year in a while.
Right, but I think we're going to see challenges inside this year for things, the unknowns of, this building that might see accounts that are a little, I want to say challenging. I see some there like, oh gosh, this is a little higher than I would have seen at this type of year. And the 25,000 that advisory has, I think we're going to be tapping into that a lot sooner than years in the past, requesting them for a little help on different things. So that's why it's good to have this type of meeting. Again, I think the information, at least a heck of a document you're putting out. Thank you for not printing it and just emailing it, because that would be a huge waste of paper. But I know, talking to other department heads, it's a great help for everybody. And as soon as you fix up that office, it's going to be.
Anywhere in the health trust?
The office.
The office?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the health benefit trust.
Rates will be meeting next Tuesday morning.
You're looking, what do you think, 5-7%?
6 weeks ago, they were talking 5 to 10, but they, the consultants, are always very conservative. They always want us to keep the rates up. The question is, I mean, there's 6 voting units.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get down into the 4 or 5% range, but it depends on how much political support I get.
Okay.
Yeah, our quote was 9% at work. But we have.
Some reserves still. We have burned them down. And, you know, there's no reason for them to be sitting in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's about an extra 3 million in there that we have worked down from the desired point, but it used to be 6 or 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, I've been fighting them for 10 or 15 years to turn that money back to the town. And this is a good year to push hard.
And then we got to renegotiate the dispatch contract.
Mm-hmm.
And the ambulance is going up 3%. But we take.
I think we took an extension on the transfer station, didn't we? We didn't give them a new one.
What?
I think we exercised an extension.
Transfer, we actually extension and transfer, but the dispatch, we gotta see what they're gonna do there. And then we got the ambulance is gonna go up 3%, but we take part of that rebate money and do the same thing again this year. And kind of,
The town administrator's contract coming up.
Don't tell them.
oh, you're not up this year.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You're not up this year, are you?
I mean, it makes.
Why?
Because I am.
Anything you can reduce that ambulance payment by lowering the rebate payment saves you money in this year where it doesn't come back until it's not really good for another year after that.
Right.
Or rolls into free cash in the next year. So, you know, if we've got a tight year, then that would be the time to lower that monthly payment in exchange for the lower rebate.
No, we did pretty good last year. I think we did 50,000, then we got another 31,000, so.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. You're not 3 years already.
No, the contract was 2.5, pretty much, because we wanted to line it up with the fiscal year. Started in March.
Yeah, this is his last year.
March to June, and then.
Now we have to
2 years.
pay him.
That's the other thing you guys are gonna start thinking about is what the salary number is gonna be for the non-bargained employees. Yeah, I mean, I heard, last thing I heard was 2.7 was inflation rate, so at least it should be a lot lower than what it's in the past. And you know, remember, there's also a step thing where those people are getting 2% every 2
Typically,
years.
half the people, roughly.
About half people get a step each year, every other year.
Yeah.
Everybody gets one, depends on the start date.
And we still have the, if you will, the union contract sitting out, not done.
For
Highway.
All 27 of them. Yeah.
So that's the contract that started last July, hasn't been settled yet?
Nope.
So at some point, there might be a retro number on that comes out of.
Might be. There was a number carried in it, so we're hoping
Oh, okay.
well, like I'm sure the school, although I don't
know how much, though.
I'm sure they carried something in their budget, but not.
Well, you know,
No guess.
politically, the lower the number you do on the non-bargain, the less leverage the bargains have to do.
Okay. All right. Anything else
The
you want to
school
bring up?
budget's the one that bothers me, that really.
Oh, yeah.
Worried about the assessment. The school assessment really bothers me.
I don't blame you.
It should.
You know, if that's not, 5% because of population shift, another 3% for cost of living, you know, 8%.
8% of 9 million is 720,000, right?
That's gonna eat up a lot of our,
Million here, million there. Doesn't get real money, ever.
and, I mean, isn't it logical that would be the number?
Yeah.
It could be, yep. Fortunately, they're probably going to do zero-based budget and come down hugely in their base budget.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure.
We won't have as much pressure from the Wilbraham Finance Committee on them this year because of that shift. That's not as big a difference to them.
No, right.
You know.
Look, we got advantage of it before, so yes, it does turn. We had a few years
Yeah,
where
but
the number.
you feel whine about it.
Plus they're gonna
I
want,
nominate Dick.
plus they're gonna want money for the middle school
Yeah.
renovations,
Well,
which they didn't do for 10 years.
Everybody can want. Yeah.
Tell them we won't do it without an override. We can't do it inside the budget.
Right.
Even that. All right, is there anything else that you guys, any other good news?
Where's the wisdom?
Words of wisdom. Be tight.
Yeah,
All right, great.
all right.
Thank you.
Everybody autograph that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you guys are so efficient.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
If you could just pay us this quarter, we'd
It's
appreciate
easy
it.
to make an X.
You still had a big crowd, but you brought cookies this week. We missed them last week.
Yeah.
Maybe they were in a different area. Thank you. All right, annual town meeting logistics. Brian, you said that was typically just a question, are we going to run the AV again this year?
Yeah.
Start.
And a couple other things too, on top of that. So we're looking at May 11th, right?
On the annual bylaw? Yes. Second Monday of May, yes.
Second Monday of May?
Yes.
Oh, I went too far here.
Third Monday is the election.
So the 11th then. 6:30? We changed it, right?
It's official.
$6:30. Thoughts about warrants, when we want warrant articles in, citizens petitions, those types of things?
No, it's a little late to say May, February 1st. It'd be a little tough to put out there. Would want to say March 1st.
March 1, too late?
I don't think it's too late.
March what? March
You
1.
got committees that only meet, some committees only meet once a month. You got the vacation week. I think it's,
March 1,
That's the goal, March 1st.
yeah,
March 1st.
yeah.
That's the drop dead date.
And yeah, so the question about the AV, and if yes on the AV, what about the overflow room? It's about a $1,500 difference.
Well, although I don't think we have a perfect sense of what's coming before us, other than the budget, I don't know of any warrant articles at this point that would be causing
You know,
any
the only thing is if the schools bring forward the
regional agreement. Are they
regional
ready for that?
agreement. They're ready for it.
Ever?
They're ready for it, but
Okay.
we're not ready for it because they're gonna want us to pay 15, 20, now
Right.
21% of
Yeah.
over the middle, so it's going down the toilet.
But other than that, I can't think of anything that's in our bailiwick that's
Right.
gonna cause, other than the budget, which may be a thing. If it's so bad it requires an override vote,
Then you'll have to have override.
then we'll have to overflow. Heck, we may be in that room.
We may just be in the safe room.
Panic room, yeah, thanks. But at this point, I don't know, I wouldn't commit
I wouldn't
the
commit to
overflow
it.
of them, no.
Okay. Citizens petitions, the same date, March 1st?
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't heard of any at this point.
No.
What else?
Anything else?
I don't think so, I just wanted to nail that down, because they were asking the reserve dates for that.
Okay. Townhouse Repurposing Committee, the
Okay.
THRP.
Well, actually, I got the Old Townhouse Future Committee.
I don't want to say, you want to give the sense in the committee name that it's not going one way or the other.
Right.
Right, so
the
future and repurposing both give the same idea that we're open to anything. So I don't care what you call it.
That's too late, because it's went out to everybody
It's all
today.
caps, kind of like the president, that's nice.
Anyhow, so we
Put it on Truth Social.
Oh, you're tweeting it later, Don? Thank you.
So we put together a, what do you want to call it? A mandate, right?
Yeah,
Committee mandate, procedure and all that stuff. We put that together, And we put together a expression of interest because we had actually had 18 or 19 people who applied or interested in it. And I think we all agree that you can only have 9 at the most to make it. So, but it doesn't preclude anybody else from going to any meeting, and I'm sure having anything to say.
As you heard me say, it's Fran, yeah.
And we also, Brian sent out an email explaining to the people that we want to have an expedited schedule. We want to try to move this as fast as possible so we can get it done by town meeting, sort of thing, and keeping in mind any changes that may happen with the fire department. So that's where we are in there. So this has already gone out. Next week, we would have picked the people on the 26th, appoint the people on the 26th. We'll put together a package for them. I was thinking we would get them started by doing a package of the assessment of the townhouse, the zone that it's in, the open meeting law, and some articles on other towns, what other towns have done.
Yeah.
And the procedure.
Your membership thing, Don, just a couple, do we want to, I mean, town administrator and select board member for the, I don't want to say ex officio type thing.
Yeah.
Facilities manager?
Well, I thought that, but you know what? I put in there that they should consult with the facility manager and the building inspector when appropriate.
Well, that's how that board's.
Rather than make them feel that they have to come to every meeting.
Yeah, and then the historical commission will be
The
part of that
historical
part as
commission
well.
will be part of that as
CPA,
well.
okay, all right.
All right,
Do they get a clerk?
you know, I think they're gonna need
Or
a
should they
clerk.
appoint a clerk?
Nominate one.
What?
They can nominate one.
They can nominate a clerk, yeah.
Well, it gets into.
But we're talking about someone who's gonna do the work.
Well, that's the thing, I mean, there could be a lot of research time, you also could be, are they gonna get an email address, are they gonna get a space on the town?
So we may have to have a temporary employee.
Temp employee, we got, there is the one employee that actually advisory is chatting with now to see if she wants to take on some clerical work for them.
Oh, okay.
And this is not gonna be a long-term thing
No,
anyhow,
it's
so.
just 3 or 4 months at most, right?
So I think maybe offer it to somebody already here, so they're already on the, I don't want to say the payroll, but in the system.
Right.
Make it an internal posting for clerical work, right?
You do that?
So Ruth, okay, we'll appoint you.
I'm gonna be gone, February and April. You don't want me to be doing it.
Thank you for volunteering. All right, so I think with this much data and stuff and going out to people, you can't put it on one member who's already volunteering.
Right.
So
we gotta get somebody.
So we need to, we'll say the budget for this is coming out of either selectmen expenses and or temporary help.
Yeah, oh.
Right, okay. So we still have money.
That's it on that.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve this, basically, I'll say mission statement / mandate.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll entertain a motion that Don Davenport be the select board member representative for membership.
Second.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, great, thank you, all in favor, aye. That was your chance.
Not my kids.
That was your chance. All right, so we have this, we have the list of, you're gonna fix the spelling, right?
What?
You're gonna fix the spelling?
Where is this spelling?
You spelled committee wrong.
Really?
That's the problem with Word, it doesn't correct anything that's all in caps, right?
COMMITTEE. That's how you spell committee. Oh, 2 Ts.
Actually, that might, no, you might be referring to a person there.
I got 2 Ts in
Someone,
mine.
yeah, but this is the mandated thing. This is the other one.
This one's good.
Oh, yeah, this one's an extra.
Yeah, but this might be
the
someone who
this one,
commits,
Oh,
right? That's a word.
no,
That's
Yeah.
somebody who commits.
It's a pledge.
that's a pledge, yeah.
Right.
I know, Word doesn't correct
Yeah.
capitals.
So Brian, you're also gonna, here's another $12 a month. You're gonna need an email address for whatever you're gonna call this thing.
OTHFC?
I don't want it to be
No?
the old gray mule.
Can the committee just create their own Gmail, or do they have to use a town.gov?
I'd rather, I hate to spend it, but you can also get rid of the .gov when you're done. It's usually around $11 a month.
Okay.
So, but I don't want a 27-digit, the old townhouse repurposing committee at hamdenmail.gov, although it would cut down on the amount of email you get. No one's gonna type that all in.
Just put townhouse committee, that's all.
All right.
Right?
Yep.
We'll know what it is.
Yeah. We'll get that out there too. All right, okay, so we're gonna email that to everybody you got on there, adding Fran to the list as well.
Fran is on the list.
Was he on the list?
Fran Otherwood?
Yeah.
No, you're not on the list.
Can't find it. That's an email, or we can't email it to them.
I'm sure you'll find an email in the selectmen's email.
Okay.
Yeah. I would be very sure that we have received. Yeah, and Don's got his number and his fax machine and everything, I think from back in the day. Telegraph.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Select board member report. Eric, you want to report on the health meeting?
Yeah, so last week I attended the EHSPHS Shared Health Advisory Group. It was a good meeting. Ryan Paxton took over for Finn. And he, had quite the agenda, very well-spoken young gentleman. Basically, one of his bigger, not really bigger question, but one of his things is that they were talking about the awareness of a public health emergency preparedness in collaborative with multiple towns, and that where we have our preparedness for emergency disasters, which this is a health emergency, and then he kind of stepped up. He volunteered to be the designee for Hampden and the other various towns. So he would be our primary contact for health-related emergencies. The other piece of the puzzle was he was talking about a system called Maven, and that he's got access to all the other neighboring towns except Fort Hampden. And I said I'd bring it back to the board, and I would chat with you gentlemen about options for that, because the other towns were comfortable with him having access, updating.
Didn't we have, I thought we had that.
Remember during COVID, we always had that number.
We had to do it during COVID.
We always had that, Maven, because Shane would always report to us that, yeah.
So we just, so then there's somehow.
Maybe we dropped
to figure out how to
something.
get Ryan access to that
Right, that
on
makes
Hampden's
sense.
behalf,
Okay.
if that's okay with the board.
I'm sure we have it
to
because
Lori
we-
and see what,
Yeah.
because we got that on a weekly basis.
The public health nurse does the reporting,
yeah.
I think.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
that's what
public
I'm
health
saying.
nurse probably has it.
Okay, look, public Sheila still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can get,
If he doesn't know, he may not just be tied in yet, yeah,
Okay.
that's hard.
very good, yeah. And then he just talked about, there was some Purple Air Network air quality sensor grant that has been received. And basically, some of the neighboring towns have air quality monitors, and that he would like to see one of those monitors in each town, which Hampden doesn't currently have one, to my knowledge. So basically, with that being said, if we were to accept the air quality sensor, we would need to, the part of the grant is it has to be installed within 60 days, and it has to be public property with an outlet and Wi-Fi access in order to be installed.
Okay, but
within
other
60
than that,
days.
it doesn't cost anything?
It doesn't cost us anything.
So
It's part of the grant.
if we
It's paid
plug it
for
in here
essentially.
somewhere?
In here, right.
Yeah, we could plug it in here, we could put it out front. I believe, well, if you believe it has to be outside. That's the other piece of the puzzle. It has to be outside.
And Wi-Fi
And
accessible?
Wi-Fi accessible and have access to an outlet.
Well, I
So,
mean, if it's far, I mean, if it's within
just to keep in
range.
the back of your minds.
No, I'm
for
just
your
saying the
back-
top of the gazebo is the place that's got
This
power.
Purple Air
and-
Quality Network, it's got a website the public can access and see what our air quality score is compared to.
Maybe the top of the gazebo.
Compared to other ones,
The air
something like that,
quality in Hampden is
exactly.
always pristine.
And he was.
Wow.
Yeah. That was-
Really?
That was really about it. I mean, he talked a little bit about the rental inspections for rental units, for habitable inspections, for health inspections. Basically, that they would do that as a per fee service. And I said, I don't think Hampden really, just like Wilbraham and the other towns, we don't have Wilbraham's more so than Hampden, but we don't have a huge rental volume of that. But for some reason, if that subject were to come up, that it would be a fee, they would offer that as a fee.
To us?
No, to
who's paying?
the homeowner for like, if you're like going to rent a house, like the person who's going to go rent it, if they want to have a health inspection, he would, like he would, they would offer that as kind of a free service.
But it's not a mandate.
Not a mandate, not a mandate, just something that they could offer. Other than that, that was pretty much it for that.
The planning board was canceled this week, or last week, I should say.
What?
Planning board was canceled last week, lack of business.
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see what, I think a lot of our information coming from outside right now is driven by the school committee and their subcommittees coming forward. Extremely concerned about, as Don has said, they have projections they're sharing with us, but I don't want to say cooler heads have to prevail. It's an understanding of the balance of things going forward. Yes, we all have needs. I got that. We got that. But there's only so much in the cupboard to be expected. Yep. So, Brian, how's the town hall?
Fabulous.
Great.
Town administrative report. We're trying to finish up the OPM contract. I'll meet with Mark and Rose tomorrow morning to try to figure that out. Board voted today, so we'll formally solicit a fee proposal. Staccacio Associates. And we'll go from there for the design part of the fire station expansion. I have a town hall use application from the Garden Club. They would like to use the town hall.
No, permanently or?
Not permanently, for, I guess they meet several times a month, and they have speakers, and I think it's really time. In the layout, when we initially thought about the building, there was another meeting room that was by the right front entrance when you first came in off the library hallway. I think right now there's Christmas lights stored in it, but I think we'll have to think about just setting that room up as a third meeting space, because.
Well, we had talked before, I think, Don, wasn't it the Scannick Valley Artisans, then they asked for a space or something? And we talked about that would be maybe a more groupie type, they could use it.
Yeah.
This group could use it like, I would say an overflow, but a more miscellaneous, if you will.
Yeah, and I think it's well situated to be sort of more of a community type meeting room, if that makes sense. We have this space, the meeting room for the select board. We'll have a large meeting room here. We have that small meeting room for outside of conservation planning. Then obviously, I just mentioned here, so, and then if we sort of had a community type space, I think that would work out well.
Yeah, as long as we're careful on what they store there. I mean, it's a meeting space, not a storage unit.
Yeah, there's not an offer to store stuff there. It's just to use it on a couple dates, similar to what other community.
Probably easier than heating the old town hall for that.
Yeah.
And the progress on the meeting room?
So the abatement has been done, and we got clearance from, we have to have an independent air evaluator, so that's all clear. And I think Herb is going to be scheduling the carpet. I know the first choice was not in stock at the installer, and they placed that order. I don't recall exactly when they were coming back. But I think it's in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, what he showed me, and I came out with that, which is probably the worst idea because I'm color deficient, but the blue like we have in the other rooms is longer lead time. And he had in stock kind of almost like a tan beigey type thing. But my concern is that something spills on it and we're stuck with that. And we don't have a rug cleaning system at this point or anything like that, so I'm gonna say we want a brown carpet that doesn't show stain, but, it's like home, it really is, I mean, because that's just, we could order a Bissell rug cleaner thing, but that's another expense we don't want right now. So we went with a longer lead time, only an extra week or something.
Yeah.
So I think we're not gonna have it available for the 27th. We wouldn't want to break it in without you, of course.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
We're going to meet the 27th, not the 26th,
Yeah,
right?
27th. He's supposed to be back, but there's no that, that ship could be overrun with rebels or pirates or something,
right.
you know?
Are you're back by the 27th?
No, I'll be back on the 3rd.
Oh, did we say anything? Oh, what?
Why are we moving it?
Hang on a second. So, when are you leaving?
I leave Thursday.
So why are we moving the meeting on the 26th?
That was your idea.
I thought he was gonna be back, that's why.
No, we're moving the February 2nd to the 3rd.
Right.
I've been talking about it, the meeting 26th.
This is the 26th.
Okay.
All right.
Or are you moving February 2nd?
If it was
to the
already for the
3rd?
27th, then it'll have to be, the first official meeting will be on the
February
3rd.
to the 23rd, to the 3rd.
Right?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna change the 27th. I don't know why I had 26th. I thought it was for you. I really
There was
thought you were
something-
gonna,
no,
I
there
thought you were
was
coming back like a Monday night.
Yeah,
and we
there
were
was
pushing-
something else, wasn't it? Wasn't that somebody else's schedule besides my, there was something else I thought. Was it?
I don't think, I can't recall.
All right, so right now, I think we're back to meeting on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's just Don and I appointing you to everything at that point. That's fine. All right, so the meeting, then you're saying the meeting in February, you'd be back for the 3rd?
Correct.
Okay, you're coming in the 2nd?
Correct.
All right, so you
I
happy
don't
with
fly
that
in until
Tuesday?
6 PM.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. She's happy to get me out of the house any night.
I think you need to tell her you're meeting both nights.
Busy week this week.
Oh, man, this budget stuff.
Can you fit my luggage? You can come in.
I got a couple more things, don't worry. A couple more things to talk about.
All right, let's go.
Procurements we're currently working on. I'm working with the cemetery commissioners. They have CPA money to do the driveway extension in the old cemetery. Senior Center HVAC project. Herb is working with John Matthews and Gary Weiner on the technical scope for that project, and once we have that, we can put it out to bid. And also, Herb's been working on the scope of work for the HVAC work that needs to be done here, particularly in the library. So hopefully we'll be able to get those out to bid within the next couple weeks. Everybody's favorite bridge, the Main Street Bridge, now has Chapter 85 approval of its design. So.
Did you notice the railing collapsed there?
Yeah, there's one, I talked to Mark about, there's one that's off the thing and like hanging down.
So that's a fully approved project. The benefit of.
Fully approved or fully paid for?
No, fully approved,
Yeah.
not paid for at all.
Yeah, thanks.
One of the benefits to that is it's easier to get it on listed on with the MPO.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
So is there a possibility, we talked before, of getting tip money for that or not?
Yeah.
Possible?
I think now that the design is approved, I think it's worth that outreach to the MPO.
Okay, but they also, that other group told us that they applied for the tip program for the Rockadundy Bridge. And our concern was that, well, is that going to take away from the possibility of getting other projects? Because, one bridge over the other, we know which one needs to be replaced.
Yeah, it may be that at some point we'll have to prioritize, but I think we have to get it listed at least.
Okay.
If the board wants to go through with that. But you mentioned Rockadundy Bridge, the other bridge, South Road Bridge. So we did receive the small bridge grant for that, for the full amount that we anticipated for the construction costs. Instead of the 500,000, they gave us the 780,000, I think.
VHP stuff, okay.
Yeah, so again, that's, so that contract is signed. We're waiting for the notice to proceed. But VHB is ready to go. We're putting together the bidding documents for that. So that should go out sometime this spring.
Okay, does VHB, are they in charge of like running the conservation hearings, stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in charge of, they're responsible for the permitting. Yep.
Stuff, okay.
Yep. So hopefully that will, in spring, hopefully that'll get replaced. 12 months from now. Hopefully.
People don't know.
About it.
People don't know how many bridges we have in town, it's incredible.
Okay, that's it. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Tad, anything?
No, thank you, I don't have anything.
Nothing to add? Where's John?
I haven't seen John since last week.
Plaster? Okay, fine. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.